Hello everyone, it's Leo, and in this video we're going to talk about episode 8 from Tokyo MEW MEW season 2 or Tokyo MEW MEW episode 20. Sorry. I loved this episode mostly because of the soundtrack. It was very good. And this episode just showed that the stakes are high and it did so many things I enjoyed. We're going to get to all of that. But there were some things I found a little weird. So the first thing is that I feel like is relevant to talk about is Aoyama. Aoyama is being such an interesting character. I am loving the way they're working with him. I am loving the way that he is trying to protect Ichigo. You know, it's his girlfriend. It's the one he loves. And he is seeing her engage in fights and hurt herself. So obviously he would want to protect her. This will obviously connect to the Blue Knight and the big revelation, the two big revelations of this episode. But then, they were having their own lovey-dovey moment, and Kishu appeared and kidnapped Ichigo. So this is one of the things that I found a little weird about this episode, because we have Kishu. Kishu is a gorgeous villain. I love Kishu as a villain. Oh my God. It's so nice to see him in action. It's so nice to see how angry he gets, how dangerous he gets. It's just like a great villain, a great way of working with negative emotions, in my opinion. Like, not trying to change them into positive emotions, this is what a real villain is. So I really like that. So the one thing I found weird about all of this is that Ichigo didn't try to become Mew Ichigo, not even once. Okay, you can say that she had her hands tied, but she didn't even try. Like, she could say, Mew Mew Ichigo Metamorphose. She did not try to say anything. She did not even try. She just tried to get out of that as a human being, as a normal human. Why wouldn't you try to become a cat? Why wouldn't you try to become Mew Ichigo? Girl, wake up. And another thing I found a little weird about this was that at the start of the episode, when we saw Kishu interacting with Ichigo in this moment, we saw like back and forth scenes with Mint. And I feel like those scenes did not connect, did not dialogue at all. Even though I like both sides nicely, like separately, I like them a lot. I like Ichigo's part with Kishu and I like Mint's part. So let's get into Mint's part first. I think that it's interesting that they are trying to connect Mint a lot to the overarching plot of nature and environment from Tokyo MEW MEW. Very nice. And I also like that she is just not only the mean girl anymore. She is someone who is worried about the environment, and she is also worried about her own capabilities of doing things. She wants to do big things. It's not only because she thinks highly of herself, but it's because she thinks that she's capable of that, and she thinks that it's important to save nature. I love this about her. And then when we have the villains attacking, when we have the big attack in the city and Cafe Mew Mew and everything else, I really like that Mint was kept out of the action this episode. I understand like Mint fans might not be very happy about this, but still, it was interesting because it gives a little bit more layer to her character. First of all, it's interesting because she cannot transform because, all those bodyguards and maids taking her inside and protecting her because she is a princess. And her not being able to do anything because she is a magical girl, but that is a secret identity of hers. I love that. That is so nice. That is so cool. And unfortunately, she was not able to transform into Mew Mint this episode. But I feel like this will give her a little bit more layer and it will make her fight fiercer in the next fight that she is in because she was not in this one. So I like that. And I also like the plan of the villains in this episode because they really thought of a good plan. All of them acted at the same time. Kishu with Ichigo, Tart with the other girls, and Pai doing like the big pollution plan. They all acted at once for the same purpose. I really like it. And as I was talking about Ichigo's scene with Kishu, I think, as I said, Kishu is an amazing villain. I love him. He is so cool. He's so mean. And in this episode, I feel like he even got like a step further in his cruelty when he tried. He like when he saw Ichigo and started crying because Ichigo doesn't love him back, and he looked at her in the eye and said, "If I can't have you, no one else will." And he actually tried to K-word her, like that was awful for him, but it just shows that the stakes are high and Kishu is a dangerous villain. He is a dangerous individual. I like that, because it just shows how in danger Ichigo was at that moment. And if we're talking about danger, another thing I liked about this episode was seeing the other Mew Mews fight. Lettuce, Zakuro, and Pudding were all fighting, and one of the things that I'm not enjoying much about season 2 is that I feel like the Mews are not feeling very strong as they did in season 1. And this episode, they were able to hold their own and they were able to defeat lots of Chimera Anima. It was very nice. We even had a very nice scene of Pudding using her pudding rings, because I liked the idea of it. But, visually, it was very simple. Everything was very simple. It did not feel very epic. But we had this scene from Pudding that felt very, very nice. I loved this. And so, with Ichigo in this very tense moment, suffering and needing help, Aoyama arrives, and we have one of the big revelations of this episode. Aoyama is the Blue Knight. And I mean, for us who know Tokyo Mew Mew already, it was already an obvious thing. I feel like for people who have been watching this and haven't seen previous Tokyo Mew Mew or read the manga, I think it was obvious too. It wasn't something big. We even had a transformation moment for this. And I like that when he transformed into the Blue Knight, he was so driven on protecting Ichigo that he wasn't really understanding what happened and what went on. But Ichigo's reaction was kind of bland, I think. I don't know. I just felt a little. I hoped for a bigger reaction in this moment. But to compensate that, it was very nice that it was because of this moment that Ichigo finally woke up and actually transformed into Mew Ichigo. I also liked the fact that she was ready to fight alongside him, but he didn't let her. And, well, I don't like this. I would like to see them fighting together. I would. But I do understand Blue Knight's stance on this scene because, Aoyama was worried about Ichigo. And it's interesting because when we see Blue Knight in the show in previous episodes, it feels like he isn't even a human being. He's just like a robot protecting Ichigo. Like, he is programmed to protect Ichigo, and that's it. And he is driven out of Aoyama's emotions of wanting to protect Ichigo. So that's nice. But in this episode, when Aoyama transformed into the Blue Knight, he was still Aoyama. He was like transitioning between Aoyama and Blue Knight, but he wasn't quite there on 100% Blue Knight. He was still Aoyama, And then after that, it felt like the Blue Knight persona was taking more and more and more of him. And he was becoming like colder and not like Aoyama is at all. I mean, Aoyama is, or at least was, a cold person in a way, but nowadays we know he's not like that anymore. He changed a lot. And then we have Blue Knight fighting Kishu on one side and Ichigo going to help the girls on Cafe Mew Mew on the other side. Had some nice moments of Ichigo as well, and the girls being able to win the battle. Very cool, very nice. Loved this moment so much. It was so cool seeing the girls being useful, even though we didn't have Mint around. As I said, I like this portion of not having Mint. Not because I don't like Mint. I do like her, and I do like her in Mew 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 more. And then we have the girls learning what the big plan of the villains is. And the girls are all worried. Zakuro is the one to mention Mint. That is cool. And they're all worried about the environment. I thought Ichigo's first worry would be, Aoyama, oh my god, I have to protect him. I have to go after him. But it wasn't actually. She was worried about people, the humans, and the animals that live in Tokyo. That just shows a lot of growth for her character, and I really like that. Just small scenes, small details that I find that make the biggest difference. And then we have another moment of Blue Knight arriving and, finishing Kishu. And Kishu was ready to show the other big reveal that happened at the end of the episode. So they were after Blue Knight this whole time. And if you've seen the preview, you know what that means. Deep Blue is coming next episode. And look, I really like the progression of this because it just feels like Ichigo's and Aoyama's relationship becomes stronger and stronger as the days go by. And now she's going to have to be able to deal with the fact that her loved one is someone who is actually on the other side that she is fighting against. How is she going to deal with that? I like it because their relationship is so good now that it makes everything harder for her. It makes it more dramatic. It makes everything have more stakes. And I think this is great. So this was a very good episode. I like it. I feel like next week, drama incoming, baby. I love it. I hope we get some story as well. And I think we're getting another Mew Aqua too. Excited about that. And we're probably going to see Mint fighting. I'm very curious to see what are the next steps for Mint's character. Very, very curious for that. I feel like this version of Mint, not being the mean girl, is very cool. I am enjoying that a lot. Anyways, babes, this was my opinion on episode 8 from Tokyo MEW MEW season 2. What was yours? Please leave a comment in the comment box. Let's keep talking about it. Anyways, taking this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you are a member, thank you very much for your support. Thank you for standing by Magical Cinnamon. And if you watch up the channel, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time. Bye bye.